On Halloween night in Los Angeles, the son of one of the city's most notorious gang figures was killed in a shocking drive-by. But the truth behind his death is far from simple. Was it revenge for a past murder, a betrayal from someone he trusted, or something even darker? Tonight, we dive deep into a world where gang politics, hip-hop, and federal investigations collide, uncovering a story of loyalty, betrayal, and a tragedy that shook an entire community. What really happened that night, and who is truly responsible, might change everything you thought you knew about LA's streets. All the Greg Crips were holding it down for Big U, riding, fighting, even risking it all for him. But everything took a tragic turn when his son was killed on Halloween night, a moment that would shock the streets and ripple through the hip-hop world. Rumors swirled that Big U had put out bounties targeting Nipsey Hussle's crew. But was this revenge? Desperation? Or something far darker? Tonight, we're unpacking how grief, street politics, and karma collided in a deadly storm that might rewrite one of hip-hop's bloodiest chapters. Picture this: Halloween night, 2025. The city is alive with kids trick-or-treating and parties lighting up Los Angeles. But somewhere in South LA, a young man's life was about to be cut tragically short, shaking a community and reigniting dark theories about one of rap's fallen stars. This isn't just another story of street violence. It's a tangled web of retaliation, alleged karma, gang politics, and music industry ties, all unfolding under the shadow of ongoing federal RICO investigations. Eugene "Big U" Henley, a prominent Los Angeles music executive, community activist, and alleged shot caller of the Rollin' 60s Crips, experienced the kind of tragedy that shakes not only a family, but an entire city when he lost his son. Jabari Henley, better known in the music world as Baby Way, on that fateful Halloween night in 2025, Jabari wasn't just another young man caught in the crossfire of Los Angeles street life. He was the son of a figure whose influence stretched across neighborhoods, record labels, and social circles. He had aspirations in the music industry, working on projects that hinted at a bright future, and he was also a father himself, leaving behind children who would now grow up without him. His death wasn't an isolated incident. It intersected with decades of gang politics, rumors of retaliation tied to long-standing rivalries, and speculation about whether his father's past actions and enemies played a role in the tragedy. The location of the shooting, outside a South Los Angeles smoke shop, quickly became the center of social media scrutiny and public conversation. Conspiracy theories began to circulate almost immediately, linking the event to unresolved conflicts surrounding Big U's past, including allegations related to the 2019 murder of Nipsey Hustle, a fellow rapper and former protege. Every angle, from the streets to online platforms, seemed to connect to a larger, darker narrative of loyalty, betrayal, and potential revenge. In essence, Jabari's death is more than a single tragic story. It represents the collision of family, community, and crime, showing how deeply intertwined the world of hip-hop, gang affiliations, and federal investigations can be, and how the consequences of past actions often reach far into the future, leaving heartbreak, speculation, and a community struggling to make sense of it all. The shooting happened around 10:15 p.m. outside a smoke shop on the 6500 block of 8th Avenue in the Hyde Park neighborhood. That location quickly became ground zero for social media speculation and public scrutiny. Jabari, 25, an aspiring rapper, was reportedly hit multiple times in a drive-by. He was rushed to the hospital but tragically didn't survive. As of now, no arrests have been made, and the LAPD continues to investigate, with little information about suspects or vehicles involved. But this tragedy isn't just a story of random violence. It's deeply tied to a family whose name has long been wrapped in conspiracy theories, federal cases, and the hip-hop industry's inner workings. Jabari wasn't just any young man. He was Big U's son, part of a family already in the public eye, including another son, Los Angeles Chargers linebacker Jabari Henley. Social media exploded after the shooting. Fingers were quickly pointed at the Hoovers, a rival set in LA. But not everyone agreed. In a viral interview, Hoover member Gumby challenged the narrative, explaining that the shooting didn't happen in Hoover territory. In reality, the area, known to locals as Pimp Central, wasn't connected to their set at all. What started as a chilling Halloween night would soon become a story about loss, speculation, and the tangled lines between music, gangs, and the law painting a picture of LA's streets that is both tragic and cautionary. So here's where it gets really important. Geography matters. The liquor store where the video got shot, the same spot where all the local pimps hang out, Hoovers aren't allowed there. Knowing this is key to understanding what really went down that night. The area where Jabari was killed, around Figueroa Street and 69th Street, was not Hoover territory at all. Gumby, a member of the Hoovers, was very clear. That section simply wasn't theirs. He even broke it down street by street. But the most chilling part of his explanation? He suggested that this wasn't some random drive-by or typical gang beef. Gumby hinted something far more sinister. Jabari might have known his killers. The way he described it, Jabari walked to the car willingly because he recognized and trusted the people inside. He wasn't naive about gang politics. He wouldn't go anywhere unarmed or unprepared. So the big question is, who was with him? Why did he walk to that car if he didn't know the people? Gumby's theory pointed to one horrifying possibility. Jabari was backdoored. In street terms, being backdoored means being betrayed by someone from your own circle, a trusted person setting you up. It's one of the cruelest betrayals in gang culture because it's a violation of trust at the deepest level. If Gumby's theory is correct, this wasn't about rival gangs at all. It was something far darker, tied to events from 6 years earlier, opening up a Pandora's box of conspiracy theories, federal investigations, and ideas of karma coming full circle. At the time of his son's death, Big U himself was behind bars. Big U, known for managing artists like Nipsey Hustle, had faced federal RICO charges for allegedly running a criminal enterprise involving extortion, fraud, and even orchestrating the 2021 murder of aspiring rapper Rayon Williams. This context added fuel to speculation about why Jabari might have been targeted. Jabari wasn't just caught up in street drama, he was part of the entertainment world himself. He had been on the set of an upcoming spin-off pilot and was recognized by cast members like Gail Bean for his talent. On top of that, he was a father, leaving behind 2 young children who would now grow up without him. The tragedy hit even closer to home for his brother, Jabari Henley, a linebacker for the Los Angeles Chargers. Dion learned about Jabari's death just hours before a game against the Tennessee Titans on November 2nd. Despite the heartbreak, he played, recording a sack and honoring his brother by pointing to the sky and shouting, "I love you." Dion later shared that focusing on the game helped him cope and that he wanted to make his brother proud. As the hip-hop community and social media processed the loss, the conversation inevitably turned to a question that had haunted Big U for years. Was this payback for Nipsey Hustle? Karma, conspiracy, retribution? To understand why Jabari Henley's death sparked such intense speculation, you have to go back to March 31st, 2019, a date that shook the hip-hop world and continues to echo through LA's streets even today. Nipsey Hustle, born Hermes Asghedom, was gunned down outside his Marathon clothing store in South Los Angeles. The city and the world mourned. Thousands showed up for his memorial, honoring him as more than a rapper, a community hero, a sharp entrepreneur, and a beacon of hope for South Central LA. The man convicted of his murder, Eric "Shitty Cuz" Holder, a fellow Rollin 60s Crips member, received a 60 years to life sentence in 2022. On paper, the story seemed simple. Nipsey accused Holder of snitching, tensions boiled over, and a deadly confrontation followed. Case closed, right? Not for many in the hip-hop community or conspiracy theorists who argue the truth is far more tangled. At the center of these theories is Eugene "Big U" Henley. His relationship with Nipsey Hustle was complicated, mixing mentorship, music business, and deep-seated tension. Big U managed Nipsey under a decade-long contract and in interviews, described discovering him and nurturing his talent. He said, "I started looking for Nipsey. My nephew's shortstop told me to find him. They'd been trying to get on. Once I felt his vibe, I knew he was something special." Big U's story painted a picture of guidance, offering studio space, property, and teaching Nipsey the ropes of entrepreneurship alongside his music. He claimed to have influenced Nipsey's shift from pure gangster rap to a more conscious, business-savvy approach. But mentorship has a shadow side. In 2018, tensions flared when Nipsey reportedly refused to renew his contract. Allegedly, this led to a confrontation, a diss track, and a falling out that mirrored patterns federal investigators would later examine in Big U's 2021 legal troubles involving another artist. Conspiracy theories about Big U's involvement in Nipsey's death have been widespread. Rapper Loose Cannon even claimed on No Jumper that Big U was informed about the shooting 30 minutes in advance, implying prior knowledge, if not direct involvement. Big U denied this, sending a cease and desist letter to No. Big U, in his defense, positioned himself as a victim of internet gossip. He recalled, 2 days after he was killed, Suga called me and said, "Get ready." I asked, "For what?" He said, "They're going to blame you." I thought, the guy who did it is caught. Why would they blame me? He described how online narratives twisted his words, building platforms off rumors, creating a digital storm he had no control over. Then came Halloween 2025, when Big U's son, Jabari Henley, was killed. The timing and circumstances fueled a new wave of speculation. Was this revenge for Nipsey Hustle? This wasn't just idle internet chatter. Videos surfaced of Nipsey's affiliates mocking Big U and confronting him in prison after Jabari's death, implying some form of payback. Some sources explicitly called the shooting retaliation, with law enforcement reportedly treating it as a gang feud-related killing tied to past disrespect toward Nipsey. The layers of tragedy, loyalty, betrayal, and speculation make this story far more than just a headline. It's a complex narrative of revenge, street politics, and the high-stakes world where music, gang life, and personal vendettas collide. Speculation about Jabari's death went into overdrive online, especially on platforms like Twitter, now known as X. One viral post linked to a YouTube video titled, "Big U's son was retaliation for Nipsey Hustle." Online commentators connected it to Big U's alleged extortion schemes and past conflicts, including tensions with Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, who spoke out amid the tragedy. Even former death row rapper SKG publicly accused Big U of being involved in Nipsey's murder and celebrated his arrest, framing the ongoing violence as fallout from that case. Social media also saw members of the Eritrean community, connected to Nipsey's heritage, highlighting Nip's roots while discussing alleged karma. Perhaps the most telling response came in a short, viral video calling out the Rollin 60s Crips. The video questioned their loyalty and actions. "All you grid Crips" was up there popping it for Big U. "Y'all was riding. Dying for Big U, his son got killed, why ain't you sliding?" The clip raised tough questions about loyalty, street politics, and whether Big U's crew would act in his defense, especially given the swirling rumors about his role in Nipsey's death. It's important to note that none of these speculations have been confirmed by police. Big U has denied involvement in Nipsey's murder. Still, in hip-hop culture and gang politics, perception often carries more weight than proof. The idea that Jabari's death was karmic retribution for Nipsey's killing had firmly taken hold in the public imagination, regardless of official investigations. Meanwhile, federal authorities were quietly building a separate, far more concrete case against Big U. What the streets were buzzing about, revenge, karma, and speculation, was only a small piece of a larger puzzle. Investigators allege that Big U ran a sophisticated criminal operation, masquerading as community work. At the center of this federal case was the 2021 murder of aspiring rapper Rayshawn Williams, also known as Rue. Federal prosecutors charged Big U with murder, extortion, human trafficking, and racketeering, among other crimes, painting the picture of a man running a mafia-like enterprise while presenting himself publicly as a reformed OG and community figure. The Williams case mirrored Nipsey's story in chilling ways. In January 2021, Henley allegedly kidnapped Williams in Las Vegas, drove him to North Las Vegas, shot him in the head, and left his body in a desert ditch near the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The motive? Williams had recorded a diss track about Henley at a studio other than the one Henley had paid for, a dispute over music that turned deadly. Federal documents detail how Henley, along with an associate, Sylvester Robinson, aka Vi, confronted Williams, carried out the murder, and then went to great lengths to cover it up, ordering studio staff to leave, removing security footage, and telling witnesses not to speak to police. The personal connection makes this case even more disturbing. Williams, also called RW, had been a wide receiver at Crenshaw High School and a teammate of Henley's son, Dion Henley. Essentially, Big U allegedly killed someone who had been both his son's teammate and his associate. The murder of Williams is only one part of the larger federal indictment, which totals 43 counts. Together, these charges depict a man accused of orchestrating a sprawling criminal network while hiding behind the image of a community leader. The federal case against Big U is staggering in its scope. He's charged with conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, multiple counts of robbery and extortion, human trafficking, and embezzlement. Perhaps most damning is how prosecutors claim he used his nonprofit, Development Options, as a front for criminal activity. Between July 1, 2018 and June 30, 2023, the charity received $235 million from Los Angeles' Gang Reduction and Youth Development, GRYD, program. Federal authorities allege that Big U embezzled funds, transferring donations to personal accounts, defrauding companies, donors, athletes, and celebrities, including NBA stars like Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal. Prosecutors also claim he submitted a fraudulent COVID-19 relief loan for Unique Music, claiming a $200,000 profit in 2019 despite an actual $5,000 loss. Before his arrest, Big U seemed to anticipate trouble, posting videos that now feel eerily prescient. "This is probably going to be my last video," he said. "I'm going to turn myself in to see what's going on. They talking about me a fugitive, and they raided all my houses." In these videos, Big U painted himself as a victim of internet gossip and character assassination, insisting that his community work was being weaponized against him. "I ain't been nothing but a help to our community," he said. "This is the price of being black and trying to help somebody. You're just guilty because somebody else don't like you." He denied using Development Options as a front, claiming the nonprofit only covered legitimate bills and expenses for him and his family. Federal prosecutors tell a very different story. They allege Big U leveraged social media, documentaries, podcasts, and interviews to build a positive public image while running a criminal enterprise. His appearance on Hulu's Hip Hop Uncovered painted him as a community leader, shielding him from suspicion. But the checking-in culture, where artists and athletes visiting Los Angeles allegedly had to report to Big U for protection, is at the heart of the federal extortion claims. Authorities claim this was a scheme to control and intimidate, not mentorship. On April 8, 2025, Big U pleaded not guilty to all charges in a downtown Los Angeles courtroom. His trial is scheduled for May 20, 2025. If convicted, he could face hundreds of years in prison. The FBI has been investigating the Rollin 60s and the Big U enterprise since August 2020, alongside 19 other members charged with various crimes, from drug trafficking and firearms offenses to racketeering and conspiracy. So where does that leave the city? The streets and the hip-hop community? A young man is dead. His father could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Social media and the public are awash in conspiracy theories, connecting Jabari's death to Nipsey Hustle and suggesting karmic revenge. Federal prosecutors allege a sprawling criminal network, while many in the community still see Big U as a local legend, a hero, or both. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. But one thing is clear: in Los Angeles, the streets remember everything. In the worlds of gang politics and hip-hop beefs, debts always come due. Whether Jabari Henley's death was retaliation for Nipsey Hustle, whether Big U orchestrated murders while running a criminal empire under the guise of charity, or whether federal authorities are simply prosecuting a powerful gang figure, these questions may finally get answers in court. Until then, the story of Big U serves as a cautionary tale about the thin line between street legend and federal defendant, between community activism and organized crime, and between karma and coincidence.